The Remarkable 2. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Mello. I unbox cool tech, cool gaming products, all with ASMR, and now I review them as well. So let's get into it. So, in the box, we have three different packages. We have one for the pen, one for the folio, and one for the tablet itself. And keep in mind, if you decide to purchase the Remarkable 2 off the website itself, you'll be able to choose different options for the folio and for the pen. And also, a quick mention, I love the design of the packaging itself. It's super minimalistic, but it still manages to capture your attention. So inside the packaging, we do have extra remarkable marker tips. Now this is really good to have because the tip of the Marker Plus does wear down after a few weeks of usage, and it looks like we have around 9 extra tips to use. The first thing I'll notice about the Marker Plus is the weight. It has a very nice weight to it. It also has this nice textured coating on it. It feels like very grainy, but it's a very nice coating that feels comfortable in your hand, especially matched with the weight. The only thing that concerns me is maybe after a few hours of usage, if maybe we would have some wrist strain or the weight would actually like end up getting to you after a while. But we'll definitely put that to the test. Overall, the pen looks and feels really solid. I love the way it feels in my hand, and I'm excited to try it out. So the folio itself feels really solid. It has this nice rough texture to it. It has magnets in the middle here. I'm assuming for when I put the tablet inside, but we'll definitely check that out. It has a nice softer material in the inside, almost suede, but a little bit more rough. And overall, it feels pretty solid, but I do find it difficult to believe that this will do any sort of serious protecting, especially if you drop the tablet. I feel like the magnets aren't sufficient enough to hold it in place. Instead, the tablet will probably just go flying out, but we'll definitely check that out. In this packaging, we have a USB to USB-C with the nice remarkable logo on the ends. So, first impressions for the Remarkable 2 tablet, I absolutely love the design. It's nearly paper thin. It has smooth, shiny sides and corners. It has one port and one button. This is the charging port, and up here is the power button. Aside from that, the only negatives I have for it are the kind of large bezels here, and it's a little bit smaller than a college rule piece of paper. But aside from that, I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and set this up off camera and see if this tablet Remarkable 2 is really worth the price. So, after using the Remarkable 2 for a few days, this is what I found. The tablet doesn't have too many features, but there's something about it that just gravitates me towards it. So this is the home screen, and as you can see, it looks pretty simple. You have three options. You have one to make a notebook, one to make a folder, and quick sheets. You also have the menu option and the search bar to look through your notes. But for the notebook option, you can use this to create notebooks, especially if you're taking notes on specific genres or if you're in a specific class. You can take notes and put them all in this one notebook, and you can also name the notebook and select which page you want to be your front cover, the first page, or the last page. Now, for the folder option, you can use that to organize your notes. You can have many different folders, and you can select your quick sheets and just throw them into your folder, and that way you can keep your tablet nice and organized. And lastly, for the quick sheets, that's just if you're looking to make a quick note down, a quick jot down of a specific thing really quick on the go. You can press quick sheets, it's going to make a new page for you, and you can go in and write whatever you like. So this is what it looks like when you enter a quick note page. As you can see on the left side, you do have a few options. In the first box, you can change between different pencils, pens, and markers. You can also change the thickness of the pen or pencil, as well as the color of the marker or highlighter. Now, it's worth mentioning that with the colors, you won't be able to see any color differences on the tablet, only when you export your file or notes to your PC or your phone. In the second box, you do have the option to type. Now, this is especially useful if you have the Type Folio, which is a folio with a built-in keyboard, but I found that it's just inefficient to type with your hands. I found it much better to just write down or jot down whatever I want to write down, but maybe you guys would think otherwise. Now, the third option is your eraser. You do have the option to change the thickness of the eraser, erase the entire screen, or erase with a selection. So you can circle what you want to erase and it'll get rid of it. Now, the fourth option here is your selection tool. So if you were to write something and let's just say you wanted to move it to a different page or you wanted to flip it upside down, rescale it, make it bigger, make it smaller, you can easily do that with the selection tool. So just for a quick test, I'm just going to write something. And let's just say I wanted to move this to the top right corner. I can easily do that, switch back to my pen, and now it's on the top right corner, and I can continue writing whatever I wanted to write. Now the following buttons are your undo and redo, so I can easily undo the movement, undo the writing, just like that. So in the bottom left here, we do have 5 more options. The first option are the 4 squares. So with the 4 squares options, you can switch between different pages that you have in your notebook. You can also create a new page in the bottom left. So the next option are the tags. So with the tags, you can put tags on your notes and your writing to remind you of the importance, or if you need to follow up on that note, to study that note. It's really useful in that manner. The next option is the layer option. So within the layer option, you can add layers and you can also change the template. So if I click on template here, you can see that we have many different templates. The one I use the most is the US college rule, but there are many different templates that you can choose from. The next option are the sharing options. So you can use this option to send it by mail. The last option here looks like a notebook. Here you can look at your notebook settings, make searches, set it to landscape, and you can also add pages. Throughout my time using the Remarkable tool, I actually began to look forward to taking notes and using the tablet. Writing on the screen sounds and feels so satisfying, I just can't resist. And just to show you how realistic it sounds, here's a comparison. Okay, so this all sounds pretty good, but what are the cons? I'd like to mention that the eraser on the Marker Plus doesn't erase as efficiently as the on-screen eraser tool. And just to show you, this is what it's like as opposed to the on-screen eraser tool, where I can just quickly erase it and move on. And it also offers more capabilities, as I can just circle it and it's gone. I think that the on-screen eraser tool is much faster, and honestly, I'd probably recommend buying the Marker Plus without the eraser tool. Honestly, as I was using it, I found myself using the on-screen eraser tool just so much more because the Marker Plus just felt so inefficient and it didn't really match my speed. I have to slow down, erase it, and then go back to writing. Instead, I simply just erased what I had to and switch back and just kept writing normally. The second thing I like to mention is the tips. You have to constantly buy tips once these wear out. And this one, it already started wearing down a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but only after about a week's worth of usage, it did start wearing down. Maybe it's just I was writing too hard, but in my experience, it did wear down pretty quickly. And I can see that over the course of maybe a few months, I'd already have to buy another pack of the replaceable tips. Okay, back to the screen. It's really nice. It feels great when you're using it, when you're writing, when you're taking notes. It's all great. It sounds great, but it has no backlight. So it's literally as if you were looking at a book. And to some people, that's great, no stress on the eyes. But if you were in a low light area, it would be nearly impossible to take notes, read an article, or study. And finally, the last con I have is the subscription plan. So, in order to take unlimited notes, you do need to sign up to the Remarkable subscription. Otherwise, you're capped at roughly 7 gigabytes of storage. And honestly, that's not too bad, but it's just the inconvenience of having to subscribe to something in order to use the tablet on a day to day basis if you love it a lot. Okay, so it looks great, it sounds great, it feels great, it has pretty decent features, and it's pretty situationally versatile. But is it worth the $500? Honestly, I can't really say that it is. I mean, okay, I love the product, I love using the product, I love the entire concept, but for the price, you can get an iPad capable of this and so much more.